Sevens today, folks. I just got here too, Linda, so it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna wait for more folks to come in. Maybe none will. I don't know. Um, I put my kettle on. I can't. I bet you I didn't turn it on. Give me a second, folks.
Make your browser fast.
Yes.
Make
Ouch.
your browser safe.
I put the kettle on.
Make your browser Chrome. Choose Google Chrome for your computer.
So, the heck just happened? What just happened? What is this? I've never seen a setup like that before. Let's go back. Excellent connection. Well, thank you, but how come I don't have... Oh, okay. And where's the sound? And okay. All right. Close. Let's pop out the chat. 23 people. We'll give it a minute. This tooth is now loose. It's really loose. This one's loose. This one's loose. Hey, Carolyn, Charlie, Edie, Linda, Candy, Jack. How's it going? Gracie hasn't eaten today or yesterday because of the screw up with her food. I'll wait for everyone to come in. I'm going to do my thing here, and then I'll fill you guys in. Tweedle, tweedle, tweedle-dee. Oh my gosh. I got up at, got out of bed at 10 this morning. Like not dragging myself out, but getting myself out of bed. Here's what we got going. I got a lot of things to tell you. My teeth hurt. I'm making sourdough bread and next canning carrots. Good job. Good job. So there's a lot of kind of things going on. I have made the final decision that I'm moving rooms. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I got a lot of shit on my plate that I want to share. Oh. For my knacky. What's a knacky? Your knack? Gracie has not eaten today. Again. I will fill you for your back. Oh, right. It was either neck or back, right? Knack, right? So, I don't know what's going with Gracie. Okay? Gracie is absolutely Kelstorm. Every little bit does help. Gracie, I want to wait until make sure everybody's in before I usually takes about 10 minutes for everybody to come in because I don't like repeating myself. That is a lot of work. Hey, Evangeline. Evangeline. I always get it wrong. It's Evangeline, isn't it? Hi, baby girl. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy all the live long day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll always know, dear, how much I love you. So please, oh, stay, sweet sunshine. Please stay at least night and a day. Mwah. Bah. Hey, Cal. Hi, Audrey. On the new Amish built hen house. Ooh, lucky girl. Lucky girl. Hi, hi, hi. Brother John's doing fine. I'll be right back. Don't leave. Sorry about that. That was Howie. Oh, well, thank you, Luann. Thank you. So here's kind of what's going on. Well, she's pooing. Okay, here's the deal. Honest to God, I honestly think she has pancreas cancer in her pancreas. Okay. Now, oh, wonderful, Evangeline. So here's what's going on. We finally got her to eat raw food. We finally got her to eat with raw food. Okay. So when she ate 5 days in a row, 1 day on raw hamburger and the other 4 days on raw beef, made for dogs. And she was doing great. And then, so Howie brought home that great big case. That great big case turned out to be really crappy meat. So we took it back and we got a small case of duck and a small case of beef. Problem being now, Gracie was on day 6 and she went all day without food. So, but on Tuesday, I had called the vet and said, explained to the vet on Tuesday explained to the vet's office that I needed more gabapentin, which is the pain reliever, okay? And I'm not saying this twice, so you may have to go back and watch if you're just coming in, watch the replay. Okay, so I phoned on Tuesday and asked for some gabapentin, which is her pain reliever. I took her off the anti-inflammatories. And when I called, I said, this is what's been going on. She refused to eat. I managed to get her to eat it, the canned food, but she didn't like it, and it was making things worse. She would only force her to eat it after 2 days when she was starving, right? So I told them, I said, she went 3 days, 70 hours. Now, anybody who knows anything about biology knows that a person or something can live, most mammals can live 30 days without food if you're normal size. You cannot go 3 days without water. After 3 days, your organs start shutting down. Gracie was at 70 hours without food or water, and I could not make her eat it. I could not make it. So I'm telling you guys the story. It is a repeat, okay? So I phoned them on Tuesday. Oh, okay. So I had taken hamburger out of the freezer to make meatballs, and it was open because I had made goulash, right? With a chunk of it. And she came in from her pee and went at the counter, and I went, oh, really? Well, let's try that. And I gave her a lump of raw hamburger. She ate the whole package. So that's when I phoned Howie and said, stop and get her some hamburger. He said, no, I'll get her stuff from the pet store that's formulated more for dogs. So that's when she started eating. She ate a pound of raw meat, 4 days, the hamburger, and then 4 days of raw meat. So that was 5 days. On day 6, though, the stuff I opened and thawed out was garbage. We had to take it back. So what happened was she went all day while I had to wait for Howie to get home. And she went all day without eating. And when we got her some duck and some beef, and we took it back, and I thawed her out some duck, and she wouldn't eat it. And I think it's because by that point, she's just like, F this noise. I'm not doing this. So she got up on the couch. So now we're doing the whole 2 days now without food. Okay. She had water yesterday, but she hasn't eaten. So she wouldn't eat the duck. So I threw it out, threw out the package that had been thawed out. And I thawed out some beef. And she wasn't fussy on that either. Right. So Tuesday, I had phoned the vet's office and said, look, this is what's going on. She refuses the canned food. I've tried to force it on her, but it just makes her sick. And the anti-inflammatories were causing her poop to have blood in it. So I need more gabapentin for the dog. I said she went, and I told them, she went 70 hours. 72 hours is 3 days, guys. She went 70 hours without food or water. And I said, and I gave her the raw hamburger, and she ate. And then she drank. And then 4 days in a row, she ate raw hamburger. I said, but now we need more gabapentin because she's finally turned the corner, right? But she needs more pain meds, but no more anti-inflammatories. And they said, okay, well, we can give you another refill. And I said, great. I said, Howie will pick it up on his way home. They said, oh, no, you can't. I said, they said, we're not a pharmacy. You got to wait. I said, well, when will it be? We got to order it in. And I said, okay, well, I'll get them to stop tomorrow. No, you'll have to wait till Thursday. So Thursday comes, yesterday comes, and she's not eating. And she's still not eating. And she's been now 2 days. No, this is 2 days without food. Howie goes to stop at the vet's to pick up the gabapentin, and he gets himself torn a new ass. Now, Howie is a very soft-spoken gentleman. And if he gets irritated enough to snap at somebody, they'll be awful glad they were dealing with Howie and not me. So apparently, Howie went to pick up the gabapentin, and the vet came out and started giving him hell for giving her raw food. She needs to be on a special diet. She could have a tumor on her pancreas. La, 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 la. You shouldn't be giving her raw food, and definitely not beef, blah, blah, blah. And Howie just looked at her and said, just a minute. My dog went 3 days without, 70 hours without food and water. The only thing that brought her back was raw meat. And they said, well, blah, blah, you should at least cook it and la, 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 la. So when he was really upset. And then they gave him the pill. We're not a pharmacy and la, 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 right? They were really pissed. And for Howie to say, and then they said, she should be eating cooked food. She should be on this. She could have a tumor on her pancreas. And Howie goes, really? Now you're telling us that? Because if I remember correctly, we spent $900 to find out that she did not have Lyme's disease, that she had an irritated pancreas, and a bunch of food that was making her worse, and pills that were making her bowels bleed. The only thing that saved her was raw meat. And they said, well, you should at least cook it, and la, la, la. And Howie said, and they said, she needs an x-ray and she needs an ultrasound. And he said, why? Well, she could have a tumor on her pancreas. He said, you said she had an irritated pancreas. Right? And he said, and what if she does have a tumor on her pancreas? You're going to say one of two things, surgery or chemo. And how much is that going to cost? Because, lady, I don't have $3,000. I don't even have another $1,000 to get your opinion. Thank you very much. They billed him $86 for the meds. When he got home, they had given her the anti-inflammatories as well and billed him for them. I'm never going to that fucking vet again. Pardon my language. So anyway, because the beef had sat out all day, Howie cooked it and I put it in the fridge and I warmed it up this morning. I put it out and she's nosing it, but she doesn't want it. Which reminds me, I'm going to take some beef out right now. And thawed out. I'll be right back. Because she wants to eat. She just doesn't want the cooked meat. She ate some. Good for you, Gracie. She's eaten half the meat, the cooked meat. So I'm just, the fact that she's eaten some is, whew. So, well, it wasn't like I'm going, yeah. But Howie, they gave Howie shit. They just like, she shouldn't be eating raw meat. That's really horrible. And it shouldn't be beef and this and that and this and that. And it's like, and she needs an x-ray or an ultrasound to find out what's going on with her pancreas. And he said, I don't have another $1,000 for you to tell me she needs surgery or chemo. Because it's obvious what's going on with the dog, guys. She's got pancreatic cancer. We all know boxers are prone to cancer. There's nothing else we can do for her. Yeah, we could get an x-ray. Yeah, we could get an ultrasound. That's $500 for those two things. $500 for those two things. For them to probably tell us whether she has a benign tumor and she needs surgery or she has a malignant tumor and she needs chemo. And that would cost us $500 to $1,000 just to get that answer. Hey, desert lady. So I'm looking for a new vet. Our farm vet that we used to have she's really, really busy. So, because I think she's the only local farm vet around. So it's really, really hard to get a hold of her. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So that's going on. And she just ate half that meat, the cooked meat. So even if she doesn't eat the rest of it, I will take out some raw for her in the morning because I had to cook it because it sat out all day yesterday in her bowl. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take raw meat out for her tomorrow. I'll thaw it out in the fridge tonight. And it'll sit all day. And if she eats it, great. If she doesn't, then I'll cook it, put it in the fridge, and she'll get it cooked the next day. Right? Either way. And if anything happens between now and we run out of the food, I'll just donate it to somebody who has dogs. Right? Because she doesn't want to be put to sleep, Donna. She doesn't want to be put to sleep. We've asked her. She's on painkillers. She's on gabapentin. They gave me 2 weeks worth. And I can make that stretch for 3. Right? This could keep her hydrated. Freeze some broth, chicken, beef, whatever, and then put a cube in her water bucket. It's not going to make any difference. She'll drink when she's thirsty. And she had a drink yesterday. She must have had a drink today if she's eaten some. So, Terry, it wasn't, when I say force feeding, I am not shoving a tube down my dog's throat and filling her stomach, if that's what you think. When I say force feeding, means I take like a meatball and I just put my finger like this, and she opens her mouth and I drop it in and I go like that. And if she goes, puh, and it comes out the sides of her mouth or she spits it out, that's all I can do. If she swallows, then we try again. It's that simple. That's what I call force feeding. Force is not necessarily mean brutal force. It's not brutal force. It's just against her will at that point. And then when she, 9 times out of 10, when she has 3 mouthfuls, she wants more, right? Exactly. I will know when it's time to put my dog to sleep. But right now, she's fighting. And as long as she's fighting, I will fight for her. Well, that may be so. But there's a point when there's going to be a point where she's going to say, no more, Daddy. No more, Mommy. And she will be put to sleep in my arms. So, I mentioned a bullet before, but we don't have a 22 anymore. And I wouldn't do anything more high-powered than that. But we have I don't want to talk about it, okay? It's a sensitive subject. I really don't want to talk about it much more. I want to talk about, I'm happy. She ate some, okay? She ate something. I'm happy. I'm good with that. Okay, here's what's going on. Here's what's coming up. Things are going to be absolutely batshit crazy around here for the next couple of months. This tree is coming down, okay, and being put away. I am switching rooms, and it's going to take me a month of Sundays to do it, but we're going to get there. When we knew when our Great Dane gave up, and that's when we did it. He was 11. Wow. That's really old for a Great Dane. That is really old for a Great Dane. Boxers, 7 to 9 years, but they can go as high as 12, not necessarily in Gracie's. Right? April 28th. What's April 28th, honey? Yeah, just send up prayers. Bev, yeah, I know. She'll tell me. I mean, we've asked her we've told her, if you need to go, baby, it's okay. Right? And daddy put his hand like this and said, do you want to live? And she went like that. So yeah, she wants to live. Our animals speak to us, folks. We just got to learn how to talk to them. We just got to learn not to talk to them. We just got to learn how to listen. Gracie has an extremely high vocabulary. What? Did they call an election? Did they call an election? Yeah, okay, hang on. Somebody, Canadian, tell me they called an election. Oh, sweetheart, no offense. None taken. You've given me an honest question, and I've given you an honest answer. Mark Carney, don't even get me started. Man's got 3 passports. He's never held political office in Canada. So what makes us have to listen to anything he says? Oh, he's going to scrap the carbon. Don't even get me started. It's worse than talking about the royal family with me. Okay, so here's what's going on. All right. Howie bought me a gift. See, things are breaking down on me. My big box fan, thank God it's been cold enough that I can sleep with my window open, but warm enough that I could sleep with my window open. But my big box fan died. My iron died. And I have 1, 2, 3 used sewing machines that no longer work. Now, in order for me to get my sewing machine, well, I haven't said, now, Joe, don't spoil it. Hey, steel rails. Okay. All right. You just keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the front and you listen, sweetheart. Steel rails carry me home to the one I love. So anyway, I was looking on Walmart. Yeah, sue me for being a Canadian and shopping at Walmart. I live in North America, guys. I support North America. This is all gonna get sorted, trust me. Hi, Wanda. You're royalist, not loyalist. What does that mean? Thank you, darling. Hi, Debbie. How's it going? So anyway, I take it you got my email, Joe. So I had kind of a wish list cart going in on Walmart online. And I was looking at it when Howie said, what are you doing? And I said, oh, it's a wish list. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, this Singer sewing machine's on for $89. And the box fan is $35. And the iron's $21. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, I need them. And boom, he just sent me the money to pay for them. I went, really? He said, Beth, they're your tools. You got to have them, right? So my husband bought me a sewing machine, an iron, and a new box fan. I know. I meant I'm not a royalist. My family is from, my dad's family's from Scotland, and my mom's family's English and all kinds of other stuff. So, he said, well, why don't you just get one? He had asked me, he said, why don't you just get one of the other ones fixed? Because you like the older, heavier models. I said, Howie, I've looked around. The only place that fixes sewing machines wants and it doesn't even need to be fixed. It just needs to have a maintenance tune-up, an oil and a cleaning and a tune-up, right? My one good Sears Kenmore. And I said, but it's $150 just to take it in the door of the sewing machine place. And that's in Ottawa. You'd have to do it. And he goes, so for the same price, you're getting a box fan, an iron, and a sewing machine new. I said, yeah. He said, have you ever had a new sewing machine? I said, nope. And he goes, you do now. So here, oh, awesome. Hi, Cheyenne. Hi, Watercop. Linda McDonough, how's it going? I want to open a donut shop next to a marijuana shop and call it Glazed and Confused. Hey, I've heard that one. How are you, Jazzy? So, well, they're not new toys. Now, here's a plan, okay? And it's going to take a lot of patience from you guys, but here's the deal. Let's get back to the original conversation. I'm switching rooms. This is going to be my bedroom because it's small. My bed will fit right here, right? And my dresser will fit there. I might leave that shelf for a TV. But everything else is coming down. Everything's coming out of this room. Everything is coming out of this room. Okay? Well, I think, Kimmy girl, I'm going to tear apart my Sears Kenmore one of these days when I have time. But I never seem to have time, right? Yeah, my bedroom is almost twice the size of this room. And I moved all my craft stuff over there and should have moved everything over there. But it's going to take some time because A, we're old farts. B, Howie's always telling me to put whatever I need done on the list. So it's me. And there's things that have to happen. My big long dresser with the mirrors in my room, pitched. Well, not pitched. I told Howie I was pitching it. The mirror is going to the garbage. Okay? But the long dresser has like a cupboard in it and 6 drawers. 6 or 8 drawers, I think. And Howie said, I'll use that in the utility room for like a bench. He doesn't have a bench in the utility room. So he's going to take it. He's going to, yeah, I know. This will be my third, fourth time making a studio, but he's going to clean out the utility room, clean it up, and he's going to take my long dresser and he's going to use it for a workbench in the utility room downstairs. Okay? Then I'm emptying both my fabric dressers, and I'm going to scrub out the drawers, and I'm going to spray them with bleach and put the drawers in the sun. Why? Because mice have been in and out of those drawers for a while, and my weasel went home. The weather's nice, right? So I'm going to put. Mice follow the path of the smell of their urine. Now, I don't give a crap what anybody says. If you live in the country and you don't have a cat and you moved into a house that sat empty for over a year, you're going to have mice. That's it. That's all. No more. I filled my baster bowl with water, and I'd water down wet food. I'll think about that, Susan. I'll be right back. Remember what I was talking about. The dressers, okay? I'll be right back. Because I have a plan and I want to share it with you guys. Oh! I have to reboil my kettle. I went over and checked on Gracie, and she's laying on the back of the couch, and she did a little tail wub. I'll be right back. I keep turning the kettle on, coming back in here and forgetting I turned it on, and then it has to boil again. Oh, Wendy! Thank you, honey. Dresser. Thank you, Kathy. So here's what's going to happen. I'm emptying out my dresser. I'm emptying out the fabric dressers. The fabric dresser drawers are getting washed and bleached and put out in the sun. The big dresser, Howie's going to take down to the utility room as a credenza or as a workbench and it'll have drawers for his tools and stuff. Then I'm going to move my bed over to where the dressers were, and I'm going to move the craft table under the window. And then I'm going to bring one dresser in here, white dresser in here for me. And that's all I'm allowing myself for clothing. And the other white dresser is going to be fabric. Now, you heard me say I'm emptying out 3 dressers. Here's the plan for what to do with it, because I'm not throwing out another bag. I'll be right back. I just heard my kettle pop. Yes, I'm perky. Gracie ate some meat. So once I've emptied all my 3 dressers of fabric and clothing, I'm also emptying the linen cupboard because it's a nightmare. Ask my sister Wendy. You know, you open it and things go, shut the door. That's my linen cupboard. I don't need to be typing. Well, Scheisenheimer. So, now, do you really want to know what I'm going to do? I'm a terrible clothes hoarder. I cleared out my boat. Oh, Debbie, I know the feeling, darling. I know the feeling. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. So I'm emptying the 2 fabric dressers, and I'm emptying my dresser. And see, my closets in the bedroom, they don't hold clothing. They hold craft stuff. Okay, Wen, I just got one. So I had an idea. And I was talking about this with Howie last night. And he heard the frustration of the fact that I don't have a properly working sewing machine. And the sewing machine is white and pink. Anyway, right. I'm working on it, Kel. Thank you for reminding me that this isn't a Patreon thing. So, Sassy Saturday is tomorrow for my patrons. If you're not a patron, that's okay too. Doesn't matter. So anyway, I was talking to Howie, and this is where he heard my frustration. And I said, we were talking about the big lawn, like switching rooms, and he's going to take I said, it's got to go. And he said, well, I'll take the bottom part and we'll just throw blah, blah, blah. And we discussed the credenza and what I was going to do with the dressers and the bleach and all that stuff. And the linen cupboard. It's a monster. That linen cupboard's a monster. I just go shove stuff in and slam it shut. So I was saying to Howie last night, and there's a dresser full of sheets and blankets downstairs. So I said to Howie, I said, you know what I've been thinking? And he said, what? I've been thinking, we used to have in Elmer, there used to be a secondhand store. And whenever, everybody donates clothes more than anything else. Well, when the clothes don't get sold or they run out of fashion, the women would make up quilts of them, just tied quilts, right? And they'd sell them for $20. They just hung them on a hanger and sold them for $20. And I said to Howie, I said, I could do that. Like, it would be a production. It really would be a big production. I said, but I bet you I could. And even if I don't sell any, right, I will reload my linen cupboard with quilts from all of the mismatched sheets and pillowcases, from all the fabric in my dresser, or in those 2 dressers, and from all the clothes I'm about to throw away, right? Oh, Mrs. Wolfie at gmail.com. But the thing is, folks, I don't know. I don't know how much longer she's going to be with us. And we just, it's just that, right? So I said to Howard, so as soon as that Walmart order went through, it said it'll be here. The sewing machine will be here the first week in April. My fan will be here sooner, and so will my iron, right? I mean, I've had 2 irons in this house, and they're both dead, right? So I think what I'm going to do is, so I said to Howie, okay, here's the plan. I'm going to go through, like, first off, I got to clear off the bed of laundry in my office or in my bedroom. And then I'm going to put all the stuff I'm keeping for clothing into laundry baskets and set them aside. Hell, I'm living out of laundry baskets right now anyway. And then, so all of the clothes, all of the fabric, all of the linen cupboard is going to go into 3 categories. Keep it, pitch it, or quilt it. It's going to be that simple. And I'm going to make up a whack of tied quilts. I'm not going to get, yes, I've got my fancy ones going on, but it's an emergency situation with fabric and clothing and linen cupboard here, right? I hope it'll be prompt too. So that's what I think a necktie quilt is cool. My grandma made them. Well, here's the deal. I'm not making fancy quilts. I've already got the wool shop quilt on the quilt frame. And I want to finish that before I do start, because these are all going to be just tied quilts. They're just going to be squares and ties. Fold it up, put it in the linen cupboard. Another one, squares and ties. And I'm just going to do that because all my sons want more quilts. Well, guess what? If you want a quilt, it's not going to be fancy. Plus, I have Mikey's quilt and Briar's quilt. Both have to be redone. And Arthur has a quilt that has to be redone. Just getting here. Hey, Carrie. Gracie just ate some cooked meat for the first time in 2 days. I didn't like to give her cooked meat. She didn't want it. She's nosed it a couple of times before hunger won. I have a book that I put email addresses in, old school. I know, but it works for me. My grandma made me a quilt of all pieces of wool fabric. And see, I got wool blankets downstairs, right? I got wool blankets downstairs. Yeah. So they'll be liners. Any old blankets are going to go. All blankets that are not quilts will end up into being quilts. All, flat sheets that don't have a mate will be going onto the backs of quilts. You feel me? I don't want to throw out. See, because if I went through all of this and went keep, pitch, the pitch pile would be 2 garbage bags full. So I don't want to do that, right? And Howie is slow to oil. Hey, get Grampy Campy. So what do you think? And who knows? Maybe someday one of my plain, simple tied quilts will end up on one of your beds. That's just a teaser thought. So, lurking while working, yeah, flirking, clerking, working, you should be working, flirking, clerking. I love you, freaky geek. So, yeah. And guess what? I will have a linen cupboard that's not angry at me. I will always have quilts for the beds in this house and for company. And I always got something I can just, tuck into a gift if I need it, right? Yes, that's what I mean. I always use wool blankets. Do you want to see Gracie's? Like she has, no, it's a cupcake quilt and it's falling apart. I actually made it. I ran a bunch of fast quilts together when we had the place in Arizona and we needed bedding. So I made some quilts and took them with us. And so one of them's on Howie's bed. And the cupcake one, the pink one, is on my bed. It's not pink, really. It's, it's different blocks with pink and brown cupcakes on the back. For Howie to get angry is a very big deal. Howie, right, slow to burn, right? If Howie gets to the point, okay, because we've been sober 27 years, Howie gets to the point where he's going to yell, duck and cover. Duck and cover. Because that man has to get to pressure cooker, 15 pounds PSI for him to actually lose his temper. And so the fact that he snapped at the vet for saying, well, I don't have another $1,000 to find out whether she needs chemo or surgery, which we're not going to be able to afford anyway. Right? She's 9. You see 16 what? My son has a homemade quilt for when he was small. Now he's gone. I will never get rid of it. Absolutely. Sorry, Bev, just seeing your Facebook message. I rarely go to Facebook anymore, only when grandkids FaceTime. Well, any names that are familiar to me in Messenger, I just put links out in Facebook, like on Messenger and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what's going on. Yeah. And my Walmart order is scheduled to arrive soon. Which one is it? I like your number better, but thousands would be even more. Right. I haven't even rolled it yet. So the political BS just got on my nerves with people fighting each other. So stop. Yeah, well, I put a lot of political claptrap out, but I save that mostly for TikTok because, it doesn't matter if people don't like me on TikTok, right? Check my spam too. Hey, Phoebe. Like Howie said, he said he was really glad I wasn't there because he knows for a fact that I would have just planted my feet and given them a piece of my mind about my dog. You cost me $1,000 and you made shit worse. Worse. I love you too, Wendy. Just I would post just to annoy others. Oh, well, Freaky, you really do like to get in there. You got to be in the middle of everything, just like me. I really hope it is my sewing machine, but I hope it's not. I hope the sewing machine doesn't come till next week for the simple reason is I have a lot to do. I have a lot to organize, and I should be doing it right now. But I'm hanging with my folks. Even if you dug in your feet, wouldn't that have helped? No, it wouldn't have helped. But I wouldn't have stood there. Like, nobody talks to my husband to the point where he gets irritated enough to snap at a stranger. Howie is like my dad. Okay? My dad would not yell or spank or anything until it was at the point where, you know what? Well, okay. If you didn't, if you told somebody to shut up after you were told not to say shut up, he'd say, hold out your hand. And he'd do it with a slipper or his hand. He had a big hand. But my dad had a really deep voice like me. And, for my dad to get to the point to raise a fist, was like Howie, doesn't happen. So if I'd been there and they talked to Howie like that, well, of course they wouldn't have. They would have talked to me. And that would have been the biggest friggin' mistake of their career. I did get the pain meds. I got 84 of them, which means she can take 2 a day or two. I don't know. It's 2 weeks worth, but I only give it to her twice a day, not 3 times a day. Big guy with a small temper. Ooh. Well, if you would have been there and they mentioned x-rays, I would have asked for, are you paying? Well, when our bill was at like $900, they said, well, maybe we should do x-rays. And I said, how much is that going to cost? $260. Said, and you didn't, because I told them last time when I said, you guys, well, she really should have x-rays. Well, you didn't tell us that. Usually if you go to the hospital in pain, they do two things, blood work and x-rays. You know what I mean? Hey, Helen. Okay. Oh, that's quite the name. Anagnostu? Anagnostu. It almost sounds Polish. Great name though. So yeah, I mean, they gave her medication that made her blood. You have to know she has to take this with food. I know. I forced that Royal Canin canned crap down her throat until she wouldn't take it anymore. Then I bought food from the store because she wouldn't eat the Royal Canin. And then in desperation, I ate raw. Because when I tried to give her any more canned food, she'd just push it out the sides of her mouth. So I'm telling you, whatever it was that made my dog eat, she got. Period, full stop. I'll tell you something. You remember we call him the good son, Alex? Alex was here once with Briar. And I guess Briar got really lippy at Dad. And I didn't see it. I wasn't here. I must have been at work or something. But Alex said he'll never forget it because Briar mouthed back one too many times to his dad. And Howie did a karate thing and swung his leg out and went off the top of Briar's head. Briar is taller than Howie. Or was it his chin? Top of his head or chin? But anyway, Alex was like this. Dude, where'd you learn to do that? Howie's like, I don't know. I'm just mad. I was just mad, right? Briar never, the only other time Briar got frightened, like scared of Howie, was Howie was driving him to work when he worked at the gas station, right? He worked at the gas station in Alcove. And Howie was dropping him off at work. And I don't know what the conversation was, but Briar told his father to F off. And then he just went absolutely dead still. Because he said, I expected Dad to pull the car over and yank me out and beat the crap out of me. Now, guys, Howie's never hit any of us. I've been the disciplinarian. I've always been the disciplinarian, right? But Briar said, oh my God, Dad, I'm sorry. And he said, you bloody well better be. Go to work. Pulled over and let him out at the gas station. Right? Howie's got a lot of patience when it comes to. But the thing is when I try to tell him, I use too many words and he goes, yeah. Tell me condense it, right? But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. Who knows? Maybe it's my iron in the mail that's coming. So, hey! Great pronunciation. Okay, I'm going to try it again. Greek. Well, I knew it was like European. Hey, Wendy! Greek name, great pronunciation. Anagnostu. Okay, did I get it right? Anagnostu? Anagnostu. Anagnostu. Anagnostu? I did it right probably the first time, so. I said hi to her. Grandma would have had a fit. Agreed, but times are changing. Respect seems to have flown the coop. Yep. Sure enough has. Oh, did I tell you Arthur got his phone fixed? And I had a visit with my little Bubba. We're planning on going down on Easter weekend. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that financially. We can't take the motor home. It's too cold. And besides, between the gas and the parking of the motor home, it would cost us a small fortune. So it's going to cost about $400 for the motel and probably 100 for gas. But Easter weekend, we're going down to see my grandbaby at Arthur, and we're going to see Arthur's new apartment. She said hi to me, so I posted hello to me. Yeah, I hope. I can't wait. Oh, and I had a visit with Bubba yesterday. He got a haircut. He's had like 3 of them now. He's 2. And so anyway, I talked to Arthur about, never mind. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. I have to get off here now, folks, because I am now going to I'm going to start with my keep it, pitch it, or quilt it piles right now. This is Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, it's spring and I must do something. I love you. Take care. God bless.